Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. This week, during the tafsir of Surah Yusuf, we touched on a very important lesson which I want to share with you today. When Zulaykha called the women to the feast, and then she exposed them to the beauty of Yusuf alayhi salam, and they cut their fingers, so mesmerized were they, Zulaykha then made it very clear that Yusuf is innocent, but I want him to fulfill my desire. And all the women joined the chorus, and they also wanted him to accept the advances of Zulaykha, and they did it in such a way that the commentators write that each one of them was saying, yes, listen to Zulaykha, but at the same time they were trying to promote themselves. Such was the beauty of Yusuf alayhi salam. Now when Yusuf alayhi salam saw that he was totally surrounded by women who wanted to tempt him into committing a sin, he said, Rabbi sijnu ahabbu ilayya mimma yad'unani ilay. Allah, I rather go to prison than give in to their temptation. Now, why did he mention prison? Because Zulaykha had threatened him with prison. That if you don't do what I tell you, I will have you put into prison. I'm an influential woman. My husband is an influential man. It so happened that Yusuf alayhi salam, despite the fact that his innocence was quite clear, was put into prison. According to one narration, it is mentioned that after that, Allah revealed to him that, oh Yusuf, it's because you said that I rather go to prison than give in to their temptation that you ended up being in prison. If you made dua that, oh Allah, save me, without specifying that you were willing to go to prison, you would have been saved in another way. Now, for Yusuf alayhi salam, it was meant to happen. It had to happen because there was a greater scheme that needed to play out, or a rather greater plan which Allah Tabaraka wa Ta'ala had to get him to the throne of Egypt. However, the lesson we learn from here is that do not be prescriptive in how Allah should help you, because sometimes you could end up creating more complications for yourself. Nabi Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam once heard a man making dua for patience. He said, don't make dua for patience, because in order to exercise patience, you need to go through difficulty. Salillah al-afiyah. Ask Allah for afiyah. Say, Allah, grant me ease. Grant me ease. When you go through difficulty, you continue to ask for ease, but you bear it patiently. But you don't ask for the difficulty inadvertently. Be very careful what dua you make. Once Nabi Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam came to a man who was ill, and he was making this dua that, oh Allah, give me all the punishment of my sins in this world. So it was having a huge impact on his health. His thinking was noble, that I must leave this world totally forgiven. Nabi Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam rebuked him and told him, why do you need to make dua like that? Say, oh Allah, forgive all my sins. Then you won't suffer here like you are suffering, nor will you suffer in the akhirah. So do not be specific to Allah in terms of how to help you in a moment of difficulty. Rather ask Allah for ease. This dua for afiyah. Afiyah means ease, good health, contentment, happiness, protection, safety. Allahumma inni as'aluka al-afiyah. That, oh Allah, I'm asking you for afiyah. Be very careful what you wish for yourself. Even though you may think it, even though it may be a noble wish, there could be an easier way out for you. Allah is very great. Allah is very compassionate. Allah is very merciful. May Allah Tabaraka wa Ta'ala grant us the understanding. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.